Welcome back. So next up, Angie Tapia is sitting right here in front of me. Up we go, Angie, you're on. So Angie, just when you're about to start, just let me know and we'll start the clock then as soon as you're...
Okay, I will just start right away.
Okay. So we'll start the clock now, Angie.
All right, let's do this. Okay, hi, I am Angie Tapia from Lima, Peru, and I've been working in this industry for almost 14 years, both in the operational and commercial sides, as well as in academics, because I've dedicated many years to teach translators and interpreters about how to build their professional careers, about interpersonal relationships, project management, and even software. So I've been a witness of amazing career developments, both in individuals and in organizations. And I've noticed a few characteristics or patterns that are usually present when you work on your professional goals. And one of those characteristics inspired me to develop this theory or proposal that I will be talking about today, which is called the shrimp pose theory, or why you should start listening to your imposter syndrome. So I see some of you relaxed, sitting in a very comfortable position, and a few a little bit more tight. And I don't mean to judge anyone. I will just try to illustrate how a comfortable position looks like to me. And this is because when I was a little kid, my grandma used to tell me that I was always sitting like a shrimp, all curved, not caring, ruining my posture forever, and that would make her super mad. But that was comfortable for me. We all do the shrimp. When we arrive at home after a long day of work, we shrimp. When we are in front of the TV eating, we shrimp. When we are reading or playing video games, we shrimp. We all do the shrimp. So if that's so natural to all of us, why do we keep insisting on making the superhero pose every time we face a new and challenging situation? You know it, right? The superhero pose, it's supposed to give you confidence and prepare you to face the world. And probably you are involved in this because you might be involved in negotiations, or maybe you do presentations like this, or you teach and need to present to others, and that can be stressful. But then I'm wondering, why do we keep insisting on making this different character and not just being relaxed in our more natural and authentic self? I know what you might be thinking. Why is this person trying to convince us to curve? Why is she talking about fish? But the real question is, why can we just be ourselves in our more relaxed state always? So I'm not only talking about crustaceans here. I haven't traveled for 12 hours to talk about crustaceans that I'm actually allergic to. So yeah, I would like to approach this from a broader perspective in our industry. For years, we have convinced ourselves that to succeed in this industry, we need to portray an image of perfection. You know, always perfect, always on top, showcasing our excellence, collecting awards, titles, clients, and wearing them like badges of honor. We need to know when the next conference is, where the next, the new latest hip after office launch will take place, who is trending, who is not. Superhearing all the time. But with every accolade comes a growing fear of messing up, saying the wrong thing, not being updated on the latest trends, failing, and eventually disappearing. So, yeah, let me check my notes because I have something very nice for you and I'm blanking now. Okay. I have a question for you, but do not tell me, just keep the answer for yourselves. How many of you felt last year that you were late for the AI wave? You look at the sites and saw some people already implementing it into their practices, but you didn't, so you felt kind of lost? How many of you are fearing right now that if you're not adopting right away, maybe tomorrow is going to be too late? But you're the leaders of this industry. You're the ones who sets the tone, who think of the new innovation. But suddenly, history is rewritten, and you start to feel like an imposter. And you feel it constantly because since March last year, we have a new invention, new technology, and it happens so fast, and it's very difficult to keep up. And probably you all know about the imposter syndrome, this feeling of not being good enough despite our external success. And people usually tell us, don't think about that, you're perfect, you're the best. But what if that voice is trying to tell us something important, something like, hey, you might feel that way because maybe you are not prepared for that super new technology that appeared just a few days ago. You know what? That's perfectly fine. But instead of listening to that natural voice, your own voice, we try to shut it up and tell ourselves, fake it till you make it. Just tell your client that you already did a project with that technology. This is Sparta. And maybe it works well for you, but maybe not. And maybe you are adding anxiety, you're stressing extra, you're also stressing your teams. And I know it's rough out there. Trust me, I really, really know. But if it already is, why not being extra kind to ourselves? Why not choosing what's more comfortable? Why not treating us as our most important client, always? And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to, convince you to ruminate on self-destructive ideas when I say listen to your imposter syndrome. I'm actually talking about fostering a healthy mindset based on compassion and authenticity. And this also applies to your teams. We as leaders have the responsibility to create environments where our teammates feel safe, that they can be themselves without fear of judgment. So think about that, prioritizing us, imperfect human beings, before anything else. So to conclude, I would like to invite you to take into consideration this proposal in a more practical way. Like, we don't need to be perfect. We just, need to try and keep an open mind to learn things. Also foster these spaces for vulnerability and always prioritize yourself. So this tiny but powerful theory encourages us to be ourselves in our most unique way with all our flaws. We are not superheroes, but maybe we can be a little bit like a shrimp, flexible, genuine, and a little curvy. So thank you.
Wonderful. So we'll open up to Q&A for a couple of minutes here.
Yeah, any questions? Hello? Okay.
Hello. You hear me?
Yes.
I'm Marina from RWS. I really loved your talk. Amazing. But let me challenge you because you challenge
Please.
us, okay? So listening to you and your advice that we should think about our comfort, not stress too much, avoid the hypes and so on. From my experience, and I've had the pleasure to lead many, many teams and see how many teams work, I've reached the conclusion that keeping your teams in the comfort zone, removing all of the anxiety, is killing a little bit the strive, the ambition, the I would even say game element in our work, because why should they really push themselves? If the mentality of the whole team is like, take it easy, don't compete, let's do our own thing and not look aside at what the others do. So how do you strike the balance between kind of enticing your team to be looking out for new opportunities, take risks, and also keep them safe and keep them comfortable and not make them stress in a negative way?
I think you just answered the question. It's about balance. I think I'm not saying, okay, now everyone just go to your hotels and watch TV. No, this is like look at this as a how do you say this? These are your power that you can implement whenever you want to do it, but again, in a balanced way. I remember this thing that Itisa Hai taught us, I think last year in the HA conference, and it was about the joy of missing out instead of the fear of missing out, Again, is that, of course, you can go to networking sessions and keep your team motivated, but again, with a balance. If you don't feel like it, if you feel like this night I'm going to go to my hotel and order room service because I deserve that, yes, do it. You will gain some power again. You will, refresh and go the next day motivated because you're feeling good. But if you keep on this like, oh, I need to be everywhere, again, we are not superhumans. We're not superheroes. So I think that's the answer, keeping a balance. Thank you for the question.
Okay,
Any more?
one more question. I like that, the joy of missing out.
No, it's really good.
Thank you. More than a question, I would like to add something to the joy of missing out.
Yes.
Every time you miss out, just forgive yourself. You'll do it next time.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you very much.
We'll take one more question if we have one. Going, gone. All right, congratulations. Well done. Thank you. Next up, Mr. Johan Botha, all the way from Cape Town.
I'm not going to talk longer than 7 minutes or 8 minutes, so you don't have to worry.
Okay.
Marina is here. Marina is sort of the presentation guru, and she said to me, don't do the pose like that, or the pose okay, so I'm not going to pose. I'm from South Africa, Cape Town, as Paul said. So my talk is a little bit about mediocrity. What is mediocrity? The state of being moderate, low quality, value, ability, performance, that is not very good, so-so, barely adequate. Hello everyone, my name is Johan, John, Joan, Joanne, Jonah, Jonan, Jonathan. I had to once convince a lady, three email threads, that my name isn't Rose. So this little rant, if you can call it that, is not accepting a just good enough mindset. Touches a little bit about ignorance, professional communication, language skills, basically not sounding like a moron. When I was young, there was a Mad magazine, I don't know if you know it, American Mad magazine. They had a series called Snappy Answers to Stupid Questions, which was a perennial favorite of mine. So let's look at a few of the 4 more vanilla snappy answers I could have given to some of the questions that I had to some people, not all, people in the northern hemisphere thinking what the southern hemisphere is, or the ignorance about it. No, I'm unfortunately not looking forward to the summer break in July, especially seeing in South Africa there's no break and it's winter. And then on the flip side, no, luckily I didn't have to go out in the freezing blizzard like you did this morning. Must be the sweltering heat we have here in summer. You're in luck. We're going to be open during the Thanksgiving weekend. Oh, I must be a horrible boss for not letting my staff celebrate other countries' public holidays. I didn't answer the very urgent email that you sent me because I was busy with something much more important, something I lovingly refer to as sleep. Few points about professional communication. Don't litter your email with emojis. More emojis than work. This is a professional a professional business email, not a WhatsApp message. Besides, I still don't know, I can't figure it out, that emoji, that little person with a thing like that. Is it, are you surrendering? Are you a flower? Are you the sun? Why do you have a pointy hat on? I don't know. So tell me afterwards if you know the answer. I know you think it looks cool in retro modern, but to have everything the same in your email, but there's a reason why the world invented capital letters. Learn to spell, grammar check, read your emails before sending it. You might just realize that the asterisk with a capital letter that you keep referring to is actually called an asterisk. And don't be a moron. South Africa does not belong in your list of Asian languages, Asian countries. Check if you actually sent an email before crapping on my head for not answering it. None of the questions I asked can individually or collectively be answered by just yes. And then this one that I get probably the most with its 2,000 languages in Africa, there is not a single language to cover everything. It's impossible. Don't ask me again. Take a note. It's impossible. So what can people do to turn the tide of this mediocrity wave? Get yourself a premium spelling grammar checker, Grammarly or something, I know. Add a time zone converter widget on your desktop. Buy a big world map. Big one. Look at it often. Not one of those old brownish, yellowish one that you put on your wall as a decoration that has something like Pangeanic as the country or the things. A proper one with the correct countries, update it. Look at it often, very often. Update it every year or 2 years. Read every single email that you type, every single one. You'd be surprised at how many errors you pick up. And 5, keep an open mind. We're not all the same. Our countries are not all the same. Cultures are not all the same. What you consider as important might not be important for me. But for me, as an example, for me, Christmas is not snow. It's not a cozy fire next to a tree. It's not about mistletoe, whatever that is. I put on 50 SPF, sunblock, go to the beach. I throw a frisbee and I play beach cricket.
There's got to be lots
Questions?
of questions here, I feel.
Okay, over here.
But I can be second. I was usually first, so I start feeling bad about it. If there's a
Okay, anybody else with a
Anyone
question?
else? Over here, this side. No questions?
Hi, Marina from RWS. I love that. And as you were talking, I was thinking, I bet that is, while we were listening to you, every single one of us had the same thoughts. I never do that. It's not me. And it reminded me of a paradox. I mean, I had that thought too, and then I was like, no. I have done something like that, I'm sure. Like one of those people who send the questions that you gave us the answers for. Very cool version of Jeopardy, by the way. I really like that. So this reminded me of a paradox, which is a well-known paradox in psychology, and that is that whenever you ask people where they place themselves in certain activity, like how good of a cook you are, how good of a driver you are, everybody says, I'm better than average. And when you think about it, it's mathematically impossible that everybody is better than average. So here is what I was thinking about, and I want to hear your thoughts. How do we identify mediocrity in ourselves? It's very easy to identify mediocrity in others, but how do we do it in ourselves?
I think that's why I said you'd be surprised at if you read your own emails before sending it. You'd be really surprised at the number of mistakes you made, the issues you have, the things that you could have answered yourself by taking a 5-second think about it. My special friend Paul here is guilty of calling me Jonan once.
I didn't read the email.
So, yeah, just take a hard look. And if someone comes to you and says to you, send an email to that person or that person or that person. For example, I go to you, I say, in person, in Marina, and you meet, and I say, Marina, for some weird reason, I then don't call you within 2 seconds, Jonathan. Why? What is the change in email? It's as if you don't care, whereas an email is there forever. You have to be much more cognizant of what you write. So I think I don't know the answer to how can you, instead of reading the things that you say, but I think also be open to the fact that it is mathematically impossible to be not just average. And say to yourself, what can I do to, even if I think I'm not average, to be better than average?
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you. We
Any
One more?
questions? We'll take one more.
Oh, you don't have to stay. Hi, Johan. I just wanted to share how I feel now. I feel very contradicted because I was so relaxed after your presentation. And now I feel so much pressure that every time I email you. And also, I just wanted to say that as opposed to what Marina said, I did recognize a lot of mistakes on myself, on what you say. I'm very careful usually, but there is a typo, I forget the attachment. It happens a lot. So. And being in China, we use emojis a lot, so culturally that's accepted. So now I'm very confused, but thank you. You're making me think, so thanks a lot.
And perhaps I just want to ask, throw it open to the floor, what have you experienced with mediocrity? For instance, I was the one day I was I'm generally a very happy guy, but the morning I was particularly irritated or so, and I had my first email my email address was johan.buerta, and I had right below that, hi Jonathan. And I was so angry, and I put it on LinkedIn with a screenshot, and with a pointy arrow to Johan, and millimeters from the email pointing to Jonathan. And it exploded. It still is by far the most views that I've received on LinkedIn, and people go and check it out. On LinkedIn, it's people saying, my name is Brahim, but they call me Brian. My name is that, but they call me that, and so on. So our industry is supposed to be language. We're supposed to be correct. We're supposed to be, that is our way of life. That is what we do. But that explosion just said to me, listen, something's not right. So let's see if we can sort it out.
Excellent. So that's it for today. Thank you, 4 speakers. This is a really difficult thing for you guys to get up and do this, for anyone to get up and do it. So I think you're all awesome. I think we deserve a round of applause. We've 4 more sessions tomorrow, 9 more speakers, so keep coming back and we'll keep rolling through it. So thank you for your participation today. And again, thank you to the speakers. That's awesome. That's a really difficult thing to do, so appreciate it. Thanks a lot, folks.